Et salut à tous, c'est Narev, on se retrouve pour la suite de nos aventures sur Expédition Rome, où après avoir conquis l'Asie mineure et avoir fait fuir le roi Mithridate, nous sommes de retour chez nous à Rome. Et pour cela, nous devons déjà franchir le Rubicon. Mais avant toute chose et sans obligation aucune, vous pouvez commenter, liker, vous abonner à la chaîne, ainsi qu'activer la petite cloche de notification qui vous préviendra dès que du nouveau contenu sera disponible, sachant qu'il y a au moins une vidéo par jour. Ceci étant dit, on va aller donc parler à Vitus. J'ai déjà parlé à nos compagnons, il n'y avait rien d'exceptionnel, rien de déclencheur, surtout du lore.
Oh, way Lucullus and his victorious legion, welcome home.
Salve, Vitus. It is good to be home again. I'm looking forward to a nice bath and a flask of good Carthaginian wine. Maybe two.
May I humbly recommend Vipsanius Marcellus' new batch? People say it's heavenly.
Ah, your recommendations never fail to impress. Do address the legatus, though. This victory was of his doing more than mine.
My apologies, Legate. I neither know nor recognize you.
Le consul exagère ma contribution. Moi, ce que j'ai fait, je l'ai fait pour Rome, pas pour être reconnu.
Nonsense. It is high praise from the consul. Now, let us conclude our business. The consul seems to attribute the success of this campaign to you, Legate. Thus it is your duty to formally disband the legion and relinquish your weapons. Beyond this river lies the Pomerium, and not even a victorious imperator can cross it bearing arms.
Je comprends. Et nous obéirons aux règles, bien sûr.
Our laws are what separates us from animals. You have given up your command, but you have retained your virtue. You can always get your command back when Rome needs you again.
Tu m'as beaucoup enseigné, patronesse. Je te dois tout.
Ah, you overstate my influence. It is easy to make a sharp sword out of good steel. The river Rubicon marks the sacred line where you stop being a warrior. It is time you learn how you may conquer a more civilized battleground. We shall meet at my villa in 2 nights. There are people I want you to meet prior to the Senate hearing. We must get your villa back somehow. Do not worry about your favorite gladius. Your war gear will be kept safely in my summer villa outside the city.
Bien, j'espère. Construction de route. Lorsque vous prenez le contrôle d'une carrière, vous pouvez construire des routes qui augmentent considérablement votre vitesse de déplacement sur la carte du monde. Et ça, j'ai pas vu comment je pouvais le faire, à moins que ça soit automatique.
Lucullus is known for his lavish feasts. Do not eat anything until I've tasted it first. I wouldn't put it past the Vitellius brothers to poison this entire party just to get you and Lucullus.
Et qui est présent ce soir?
I see that Tullius Cicero and Porcius Cato are both here tonight. They are highly esteemed senators of the Optimatus faction.
Et le célèbre avocat Cicéron?
The very same. He is an orator of unmatched skill. He was trained in Greece, you know.
Ok, j'y vais. Souhaite-moi bonne chance. Le reste, ça m'intéresse pas des masses. T'as pas d'armes. Et l'audition du Sénat. Ah oui. Que faisons-nous ici? Ne devrions-nous pas nous préparer pour l'audition au Sénat?
I am sure Dominus Lucullus has a reason and
voilà.
a plan. I will
Évidemment.
play along. My personal mission tonight is to taste each and every single dish. You may have to roll me home.
D'accord, j'y vais. Souhaite-moi bonne chance.
May Fortuna smile on you, Domine. I'll be here if you need me.
Right on time, just like a proper legatus. Welcome, son. After this long and arduous campaign, a feast is all you need.
Dois-je faire quelque chose de particulier?
I think not. Just be your charming self and try to win them over. And please relax. You have defeated an army of rebel pirates. This is a simple dinner party.
Tu as raison, comme toujours.
Of course I am. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine.
Alors, qui sont ces personnes?
Well, you know Marcus Minucius Thermus. He's still thankful for your timely assistance and the saving of his life. You probably remember Marcus Aurelius Cotta as well. He seems to have brought his siblings, Lucius and Aurelia Cotta. The gentleman in the corner is Marcus Tullius Cicero. Making his acquaintance should prove to be very useful for you. I plan for him to become your advocate tomorrow. Last but not least, I've also invited Marcus Porcius Cato, who may or may not represent you as well. You see why it was important for you to be here.
Ouais. Je comprends. Eh bien, je vais aller me mêler aux convives.
Be sure to join us at the table before you leave. I'd like to introduce you to Cato myself.
D'accord.
And smile. And do not walk like you have just swallowed a measuring pole.
On va essayer de faire ça. Alors, on va commencer par Thermus.
Look! Ah, it's good to see you again. Have some wine.
He looks barely old enough to wipe
T'as l'air
his
en
own
forme,
arse,
Thermus, ça
let
tu viens
alone
récupérer.
command a legion.
My leg still hurts every now and then. And all this rain isn't helping. That is nothing compared to what could have been. You have my eternal gratitude.
C'est le moins que je puisse faire pour sauver un commandant. J'ai encore beaucoup à apprendre de toi.
Much appreciated. But I am eager to return to my propraetorship in Asia. With any luck, Rome will never have need of me again.
As-tu une opinion sur mon audition imminente au Sénat?
It is pretty much out of my hands. I'd follow your Patronus's lead. Lucullus is a smart man who usually has a few backup plans. I understand you have all the evidence you need to expose Vitellius Scaevola. It's a strong position. Nevertheless, I would advise caution. Vitellius Scaevola, and especially his brother Lurco, are ruthless and cunning.
Oui,
Expect the unexpected.
d'ailleurs, on a des preuves contre Vitellius, mais absolument pas contre Lurco. Hein.
Only those who matter. Be careful around Cotta. He's still reeling somewhat from the damage that was done to his pride.
Son amour-propre, nous lui avons sauvé la vie.
To a man like Cotta, an honorable death would have been preferable to a humiliating near miss.
Sérieusement? Très bien, mon ami, je te laisse à ton vin. Et on va donc aller parler à Cotta. Et on terminera ici.
Is Pompeius Magnus not coming tonight?
He's in Hispania, I believe.
Shit. Oh, I thought this was my chance to win his patronage.
Of course. The savior of the legions, Lucullus Wonder Kid. I knew you would be here.
Salve, Cotta, je peux partir si c'est une conversation privée.
Nonsense. It's a party after all. What would be the purpose of these gatherings if we refrained from conversation? I am Aurelia Cotta. Marcus and Lucius are my brothers. It's wonderful to meet you, Legate. We were just talking about you anyway.
Tiens donc.
Of course we were.
Vous parliez de moi en bien, j'espère.
We were discussing how you saved my brother's life and became the hero of the Asia campaign.
Je ne peux pas vraiment m'attribuer tout le mérite. Licinius Lucullus a été mon guide et mon mentor. Je me suis simplement trouvé au bon endroit, au bon moment.
But you can take full credit for letting my son die? Or was he simply at the wrong place at the wrong time?
Pardonne ma bêtise. Tu es la mère de Gaius, n'est-ce pas? Je l'ai aidé pour quelque chose. Sa mort me peine, mais je ne pouvais rien faire.
I apologize, Legate. They told me you had become close despite how briefly you knew each other.
Alors, montra à Aurélia l'épée brisée de César. J'ai ramené ceci avec moi, après la mort de votre fils. C'est la lame de son épée.
Oh, it's broken.
En effet.
This sword was my father's. It was called Croquet-Amours. You were friends with him, weren't you? However briefly. Why don't you keep it? I think I still have the old schematics for it. I'll have a servant bring them to your villa tomorrow.
Eh bien, je te remercie beaucoup. Ça va nous faire encore... Oui, une arme unique. Ça, c'est cool. On verra un peu ce qu'elle fait. Et je crois que je ferais mieux de partir. Donc, voyons voir ça. Schéma de fabrication. Ok. Et on verra comment on fait pour la fabriquer. Et surtout, quelle capacité elle peut avoir. Et maintenant, on va rencontrer les deux avocats, là, Cicéron et Caton.
That is absolutely unnecessary. I'd spend it all on farmlands. People need their food.
On dirait qu'on arrive au milieu d'un débat déjà existant.
Indeed they do. But what good is food if it's obtained by illegitimate means? What do you think about it, Legate?
Eh bien, j'en pense que je n'ai pas la moindre idée de ce dont vous parlez.
Spoils of war, unaccounted for and untaxed. Should they be used for development to feed the people of Rome? A simple question.
Absolument pas, l'immoralité engendre l'immoralité. Le moyen d'une chose influence son résultat. Ah, c'est pas bête. Bien sûr, la fin justifie les moyens, peu importe que l'on soit moralement supérieur lorsqu'on est affamé. Cela dépend de la situation, si des gens meurent de faim, bien entendu. Mais nous devrions aussi punir la personne qui a commis un crime. On a été confronté aux gens qui ont pris et on les a punis, on a refusé. Et on n'a pas pris pour nous d'ailleurs. Donc absolument pas. L'immoralité engendre l'immoralité.
My point exactly. What do you say to that, Lucullus? Even your own clients is against you.
C'est pas être contre.
I say nothing. He's not my servus, he has his own opinions.
Voilà, merci. Patronesse.
Meet Senators Marcus Porcius Cato and Marcus Tullius Cicero, who will be acting as your attorney tomorrow. At least I hope so.
Eh ben, j'espère aussi.
Unfortunately, things have developed differently, my friend. I've decided to represent Tiberius Vitellius Scaevola instead.
Et quoi? Et pourquoi ça?
I generally avoid prosecuting. One does not make friends that way.
Certainly an interesting turn of events. But I've heard you talking disfavorably about the Vitellius brothers before. How do you justify defending them?
Bah oui.
What I justify hardly matters. I seek to represent them to the best of my ability, so justice can be served.
Si c'est ce qu'exige le système, je suppose que c'est logique. Par contre, c'est très compliqué à prononcer.
Precisely. The rules exist for a reason. One must understand the reasons to challenge them.
Rules should never invalidate the reasons for their existence. Morality is beyond law. Legate, what guidelines did you follow when you had to decide the fate of that Triarchus? Why did you let him live?
Bien, je n'avais aucune preuve de sa culpabilité. Je n'ôterai pas la vie à un homme sur un simple soupçon.
Our feelings often point towards the moral path. I wonder, exactly how utilitarian are you in your thinking? I heard you had the opportunity to bribe a hired guard protecting a spy.
Stop interrogating the man, Cato. Not everyone must adhere to your high standards.
Ne t'inquiète pas, Cicéron, j'avais cette possibilité en effet.
Yet you did not take it.
J'avais d'autres possibilités, meilleures.
No doubt those options were cheaper.
Well, gentlemen, this discussion has become too hypothetical for my tastes. I bid you a good day.
Eh bien, merci à toi aussi.
Wale, Cicero. See you tomorrow.
One final question, before I retire as well.
You and your questions, Cato.
I believe if you wanted, you could enter the Pomerium fully armed. Why didn't you?
Eh bien, parce que cette règle est aussi ancienne que Rome elle-même. Y désobéir serait manquer de respect à notre société tout entière.
Indeed. In betraying Rome, you would betray yourself. This has been an interesting conversation, gentlemen. I thank you for it. But now, with your permission, I shall leave. Volonté.
Voile, Cato.
Retournez parler avec Cinéros lorsque vous serez prêt à quitter le festin. C'est ce que je vais faire, mais avant, j'ai trouvé que les voix étaient un peu faiblardes. Alors je vais modifier ça si je peux. Ok, un petit peu moins de musique, un peu plus de voix. Alors, Cinéros, mon ami.
You look tired. Shall we leave?
En effet, je suis épuisé. Partons.
So, did you enjoy yourself?
Mais certainement, c'était amusant.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. Let us rest now. Tomorrow is a big day.
Un grand jour, en effet. Allez, direction la sortie. Et tous les personnages ont gagné 100 d'XP, ça c'est bien aussi. Très sympathique la map de la ville de Rome. Le Sénat ici, ok. Le Capitole, Palatina. Allez, c'est parti. On va voir ce qui va se passer. C'est la fameuse audition. Prétorien congédié. Si vous renvoyez l'un de vos prétoriens, il retournera à la caserne et attendra d'être recruté de nouveau. Intéressant ça.
As per today's augury, a specific issue stood out as being of utmost importance. I bring forth the following relatio, the result of which is to be decided per discussionem, and as usual before the sun sets.
On va rester silencieux.
The complaint is brought forth by Lucius Licinius Lucullus concerning alleged wrongdoing and infamous conduct by Tiberius Vitellius Scaevola and his brother Vibius Vitellius Lurco. Are both parties present?
I am present.
As am I.
Weird that Vitellius Lurco would be here to do the talking. Where is Scaevola? He is the accused.
Are both parties represented?
I shall represent the defendant.
Je crains que notre avocat ait un peu de retard. Pouvons-nous retarder cette audience?
There's no one coming. You will have to present our case.
This hearing will conclude at sunset. I'm afraid we have no time to wait for your imaginary advocate. Do go ahead with the restatement of your accusation.
Très bien. Alors, nous croyons que les accusés Vibius Vitellius Lurco et Tiberius Scaevola sont coupables de tournement de fonds, trahison et meurtre. Nous avons découvert que l'accusé Tiberius Vitellius a financé et protégé les pirates qui sévissent en Méditerranée, souvent soutenant ainsi les ennemis de Rome. Ah oui, ça c'est bien. Avec des preuves.
Found out. So you do have evidence. Interesting. Do you accept the accusation, Kikaro?
I see no reason to comment at this stage. May I humbly remind the Magistra, he who makes the claim has the burden of proof. We shall rest until sufficient proof is presented to eliminate all shadow of a doubt.
I was just trying to be helpful. The defendant is always at a disadvantage.
I'm sure you mean usually and not always.
As you wish. Present your evidence.
Les navires. Alors, les caisses destinées à approvisionner l'ennemi portaient le sceau de Vitellius Scaevola.
Preposterous. Do you think my client would be foolish enough to commit a crime and put his signature on the evidence?
Ben, le fait est que oui. Hein.
The evidence is material, Kikaro. There is no room for interpretation. The crates do carry Scaevola's signature.
I have investigated them myself. I concur. Is there anyone who would contest my findings?
I admit, the evidence looks damning.
Bah oui, hein, quand même.
So, do the defendants admit their guilt? Are the Vitelli guilty of all crimes stated or implied?
Of course not. For starters, the evidence proves only treason.
Bah, trahison contre Rome, c'est déjà pas mal, non?
Only? What else is needed to declare this man infamous?
Voilà, merci Caton.
Do not interrupt the speaker.
No harm done. My dear friend Cato is correct. The evidence is enough to declare one infamous. That one is Tiberius Vitellius Scaevola. Nowhere in any findings can you conjure the ability to implicate my client, Webius Vitellius Lurco.
Ah, ça j'en étais sûr. Si je fais mais ils sont frères, ça suffira pas, parce que la lien de parenté ne prouve rien. La trahison est un crime grave, Scaevola devrait se voir infliger le pire châtiment qui soit.
That, of course, depends on the nature of the treason, but that's largely irrelevant.
That is literally the topic of our discussion, Kikero. How in the world can you say it's irrelevant?
There simply is no case. Vitellius Scaevola cannot be punished.
Mais pourquoi ça?
Your rhetorical games grow tiresome. You have admitted the evidence is rock solid.
This should be interesting.
Pourquoi penses-tu encore que Scaevola est innocent? Pourquoi ne peut-il pas être châtié?
Simply because the man is dead. Therefore, he cannot be accused. Therefore, the case is null and void.
Senators, people of Rome, of course the evidence is clear. I accept my brother's guilt. It is a stain on our family name. A stain we will quite possibly never be able to cleanse. You know I love my family. I love my brother more than anything else in this world. Almost anything. The only thing I love more than my own brother is Rome itself. And thus, with sorrow in my heart, I was forced to take his life.
Oh, I see.
En ce qui me concerne, j'approuve, c'est une action vertueuse.
Your support is greatly appreciated, my friend. Of course, you stand to benefit from this tragedy. Your villa stands empty once more.
Non, et s'il est vraiment mort?
Step outside, senators. You will witness my brother hanging from the old tree. Let him rot there. Do not take him down. Let it be a warning to all those who would threaten Rome, placing their petty family matters over the well-being of our great republic.
Quel acteur.
Let it be known that Webius Vitellius Lurco will never tolerate treason, not even from his own
Comme quoi,
blood.
le gars, il est vraiment machiavélique. Hein. Tuer son propre frère pour continuer ses manigances. Franchement, quelle honte.
A decision cannot be reached. This case is non-existent.
Et s'il est vraiment mort, au moins ça en fait un des deux.
You'll be fine. For now. The clerk should give you an official deed for your villa. Now that Lurco has killed his own brother, it officially belongs to you. This is not good, though. He turned impending defeat into a major victory. We will need a new plan. Go home and lay low for now. Your family needs you.
Alors, retournez à votre villa et prenez des nouvelles de votre mère. Eh bien, c'est ce qu'on va faire. Une fois encore, hein, très joli. Hein. Le Sénat avec les petites mosaïques là comme ça, le marbre. Franchement, c'est sympa ce qu'ils ont fait. Hein. C'est vrai qu'on a déjà vu des choses beaucoup plus belles, mais c'est très joli. Ah, le marbre bleu comme ça, c'est stylé. Allez, on va aller à la villa. Villa Aquilia. Selon l'adage, notre foyer est l'endroit où bat notre cœur. Entrez. Oui. Ennemis non entraînés, alors ça on sait. Quand on les tue, on récupère un point d'action. Ça permet de jolis enchaînements. Très bien.
Domine, we've been awaiting your return.
Je te connais, l'homme de Scaevola, de l'école de gladiateurs en Thrace.
You have a good memory for faces. The name is Marcellus.
Écoute, je n'ai pas l'intention de provoquer un affrontement.
Naturally not. There will also be no need for that. The villa is yours. Have a nice day.
Ouais. Bien sûr qu'elle est à moi. Allez, que tous les hommes dégagent. Je récupère ce qui m'appartient.
My son? You're back! And with Cineros. Oh, it's so good to see you both safe.
It's good to see you, Domina.
Oh, tous les prétoriens ont gagné 200 d'XP. Et il me semble que tous
I've
les
missed
prétoriens
you
ont pris un
so
niveau du coup.
much. You look great. Did you lose some weight? Are you eating well? Has he been eating well, Cineros?
He has, Domina.
Tu m'as tellement manqué, mère.
Do tell your mother how much you missed her.
Presque autant que mon père me manque.
I miss him too. If only he were here to see you like this. Tell me about the war. I heard some of your friends died there. Killed by pirates. How did you survive?
Grâce à ma compétence et avec de la chance, je suis heureux d'être en vie.
So am I. You can't guess how glad I am. But did you like the life in the Legion? Do you want to be a career soldier?
Honnêtement, je l'ai adoré. C'est l'expérience la plus libératrice et la plus exaltante que j'ai jamais vécue.
I was afraid you'd hate it like your father did. But it seems you're more of a warrior than he was.
Domina, with all due respect, I guess the legatus has his own questions. Am I wrong?
Non. Alors, comment les hommes de Scaevola t'ont-ils traité?
Oh, they were polite, mostly. Except for the fact they wanted me confined to this villa. I guess having me walking around the streets was too much of a risk. Once you were out of the picture, he had no reason to antagonize me, though.
Et tu penses vraiment qu'il m'aurait tué?
I do. And Akulus agreed. It was a sinister plan to take over our family. But now you're here, and everything will be fine.
Et où est Liviana? N'est-elle pas censée être ici?
They told me your sister's husband is dead. She should be free by now. I wonder if they did something to her.
Eh bien, je suis heureux de te voir, mais en vie et en bonne santé.
It's good to have you home, and for it to be our home again. Now that you're back, we have a lot of work ahead of us. Oh, listen to me. You just got here. Go on, take some time to settle in. Let me know when you're ready to get to work.
Très bien. In vino veritas, rencontrer Kaizo dans la taverne. Kalida doit rencontrer Bestia au campus Martius. Bestia... Oh, beaucoup de choses. Parlez à votre mère lorsque vous souhaitez terminer l'acte 1. Ce qu'on va faire, c'est qu'on va faire toutes les quêtes secondaires. Bestia doit rencontrer Cineros au Sénat pour commencer son éducation. Rencontrer Kaizo dans la taverne près du marché. Et Kalida doit rencontrer Bestia au campus Martius. Donc on va commencer là-dessus. Track Quest. Waouh, il y a grand. Est-ce qu'il y a des choses, par exemple, cachées? Elle est super grande, la villa.
Do you need me?
Mais on dirait pas qu'il y a...
Domina Claudiana has been so worried for you.
Il y a des objets à chaque fois.
Do you need me?
Ça c'est maman, donc non. C'est absolument pas ce qu'on veut faire. Cinéros.
Your mother has started catching me up on how the vineyards have been going since we left. The harvest was better than expected. That is good news, of course, but it also means we have a problem.
Un problème, c'est-à-dire?
One of our grapes produced a particularly good wine. It's an opulent vintage with a smooth finish. Quite frankly, Domine, it is one of the best wines I have ever tasted.
Eh bien, tout cela me paraît être une bonne nouvelle. Où est le problème?
The question is what we shall do with this wine. It's certainly worth more than what we normally sell for. It's the best kind of problem to have. It might be a good idea to visit some of the merchants in the market.
Eh bien, je me rendrai peut-être dans ce quartier aujourd'hui, de toute façon. Je pourrai parler aux vignerons pendant que j'y serai.
Before you leave, there's a small thing we have to decide. A good wine deserves a good name. What should we name this one?
Il faut un nom noble. Pourquoi pas la sagesse de Minerva?
Minerva's wisdom it is. A good name, and not without a touch of irony. Very well. That being settled, you should go and talk to the wine merchants.
Ok, que dois-je faire?
I don't know. Now that you're far, our legal system as it, I had no doubt.
Voilà, c'est juste un petit peu de l'or. Ou un balai, on va aller le prendre. Il y a des objets comme ça, comme la pioche par exemple, c'est ce qui nous a permis, à un moment donné, d'avoir accès à l'arc qui était caché dans le temple. Là on peut que s'asseoir. Ouais. Donc on va venir par ici. Ok, elle est super grande la ville. Hein.
Excuse me.
Elle est vraiment super grande. Allez, viens par ici.
Devenez.
On va venir voir. C'est qui là? Ah, Dienera, tu es là. Et je suis ravi que tu sois à la maison. Mais que tu as accepté l'invitation. D'ailleurs, on a une nouvelle quête du coup. Un vignoble. Rechercher le représentant du Collegium Vinariorium au marché. Ok.
How is it?
Alors, Rome est-elle tout ce que tu espérais?
In some ways it is. In others, it is not.
C'est-à-dire?
City is big. I have never seen anything like it. And there are so many things to buy, so many different people. I love that. But there is a strange way people talk to me. Not because I'm foreign, I think, but because I am woman. That I don't like.
Eh oui, malheureusement. Mais veux-tu rester dans ma villa?
I would like that, if it is fine with you. This villa is amazing. So many statues and fancy carpets. I love your garden. It's so lush and green. And trickle of fountain calms me down.
Eh bien, passe une bonne journée. Très bien. Et du coup, eh bien, on va pouvoir sortir. On a encore des jardins ici.
So glad to be rid of those lictors.
Are you going to feed the horses?
I am. Is there something I should know?
Don't walk behind the grey mare. A few weeks ago, she kicked a stable boy and nearly killed him.
I'll be careful.
Il n'y a rien de caché. On regarde, on ne sait jamais. Alors, cependant, avant de sortir, on va attribuer nos points restants. Qu'est-ce qu'on a? Ouais. On va rester comme ça, oui. De toute façon, on est à Rome, on n'a pas vraiment le choix. Alors, on a des points de compétence à attribuer. Vers quoi on peut S'orienter. Bélier, ouais, ça peut être pas mal ça. Tu vas en avoir un bouclier donc tout le temps, donc oui. Ça peut être pas mal. Et ça aussi on aime bien, ressaisissement. Attaque d'opportunité. Une armure légère, ouais, ça non. On va partir là-dessus, t'es à 3 points. Faut encore que j'en débloque un. On verra plus tard du coup. Toi. Protection. Dégâts du bouclier. Lorsque la résistance du bouclier est au maximum. Ça peut être très intéressant. Tous les dégâts dirigés. Pour ça, non. Un mur de bouclier. Ça peut être intéressant, ça. Provocation. Chercheur d'adrénaline. Charge du taureau. Ouh, ça peut être très bien, ça. On va partir là-dessus. Hop. Toi. Réanimer. Oui, très bien. Puissant de mouvement où on peut passer là-dessus. Interférence. Oh, intéressant. On va passer là-dessus. Un petit peu de poison, ça nous ouvre la fin de l'arbre. Alors toi, t'es assez, comment dirais-je, polyvalent. Les dégâts sans armes, c'est pas ton truc. Le personnage ne subit pas d'attaque d'opportunité, même ça me coûte de la concentration. Esquive. Tu es au sol. 100% de concentration dès le départ. Ça peut être bien, hein. On va faire ça. Il manque un point de compétence, il viendra là. Pas mal. Ici, bien évidemment. Réprimande. Ok, ça nous ouvre tout ça. Parfait. Et donc on va partir. On va aller au Sénat. Sélection des compagnons. Bah je peux en avoir que un. Hein. Je peux avoir que Bestia. Allez, confirmé. Commencer la leçon. C'est jusque là. On va également faire une petite sauvegarde, on ne sait jamais. Est-ce qu'il y a des choses à trouver ici? On dirait pas. Eh bien, c'est parti pour la leçon.
Good, you're here. Let us begin. First, tell me what you thought about my question.
J'étais distrait. Peux-tu me rappeler la question?
Certainly. I wanted you to think about the meaning of life. Yours or mine, it doesn't matter. What do you think the meaning of life is? The purpose of it?
Waouh, nous ne sommes que des gladiateurs combattant pour le plaisir des dieux. On va mettre ça.
An interesting idea, which may very well be accurate. Then I ask you this question. What is the purpose of gods? Who made the gods?
Tu dis qu'il existe un dieu par qui tout a commencé?
Not necessarily a god. More like A reason why gods themselves came to exist. To understand reasons, we must understand causes. We must know the root cause of all there is and all there will ever be, the stones of which the universe is made, or what we call the first principle.
Ah oui, le principe premier comme la distance et la posture.
In a way, those may be the first principles of fighting. Your distance and your stance change based on your tools and foes, but they are common elements to all fighting.
Cela semble probable, mais quel est ce principe?
No one really knows what the first principle is, but thinking about it is the first step in finding one's purpose. Opinions are divided. Some say the first principle is water. Others say it's wind, fire, or earth. What do you think the first principle might be?
N'importe lequel de ces éléments pourrait être la bonne réponse.
And that is what Empedocles says. He believes any or all of those can be the answer. It depends on the situation or person. But I believe that to be a non-answer.
Toutes les idées ne peuvent-elles pas être correctes?
Right is defined by the existence of wrong. Right is the absence of wrong. If everything is right, then nothing is right, for nothing is wrong.
Quelle est la réponse selon toi?
Who knows? Thinking about the first principle is a way of thinking about the world. And only by knowing the world clearly can you know yourself.
Et en me connaissant moi-même, je peux connaître les autres.
He who knows himself and others can surely make better decisions. Only then you can trust your actions. Only then can you be a good man. Only then can you be free.
Mais je ne me sens pas libre.
Perhaps because your mind is not free. A man who is not allowed to do what he wants, can such a man be truly free?
Alors, un homme qui n'est pas autorisé à faire ce qu'il veut, un homme comme celui-là peut-il être vraiment libre? Je veux retrouver ma sœur, mais je ne peux même pas partir à sa recherche maintenant.
Because you're free to look anywhere, but you do not know where to begin. Sometimes an abundance of freedom can be as restricting as the lack thereof. You may pursue your own happiness, but when it comes at the cost of someone else's, can you be called a good man?
Chacun a une histoire différente, chacun a une idée différente du bonheur. Dans un monde où chacun est égoïste, que peut faire un homme bon?
True. Yet perhaps there is a commonality to all forms of happiness. Happiness is the absence of misery. If you do not know how to make people happy, then you can try to eliminate misery. By doing that, you can be a good man.
Celui qui n'est pas heureux peut-il apporter le bonheur aux autres? Je ne serai vraiment libre que si je la retrouve.
Or unless you conclusively decide that you will never be able to find her. It is your goal in life, Bestia. Just like your sister, you are partly stuck in the realm of ideas. You will not be complete until you find her, or find her not.
À notre père, nous avons dû tous les deux, mais elle valait 2 fois plus que moi.
You're a child, Bestia. No one will hold you to account for what you thought back then.
Je sais. Et elle me manque toujours.
It is only natural. Who knows whose Sirwa your sister is now?
Elle avait une tache de naissance étrange sur la joue. Tu crois qu'on peut la retrouver?
Do you want me to be honest?
Un homme vertueux dit la vérité.
What matters is not if you will find her, but what you will do if you find her.
Tu m'as donné beaucoup de choses auxquelles réfléchir.
Then I have succeeded as Magister. I can only ask the right questions. It is you who should find the answers.
Ok, succès de la quête, on a gagné 20 d'XP. Est-ce qu'on a autre chose à faire? Très jolie la statue. Franchement, c'est stylé. Ah, ça envoie du lourd. Hein. On va enchaîner. Kalida doit rencontrer Bestia au campus Martius. La taverne près du marché. On va aller faire ça. Bien que Rome s'étende sur cette colline, le marché de la colline du Capitole, proche du forum, semble accueillir la plupart du trafic de la ville. Ah bon, tiens donc. Voilà qui est bien curieux. Ah oui, il y a beaucoup de choses, on dirait. Hein.
It was the most unbelievable and bold political move
News
I've
from Greece.
ever witnessed.
The army
I
of
still don't understand. To kill one's family is the worst act imaginable. He is obligated to
A
defend
triumph
his
has been
family
granted
even
by the
against the law.
Senate.
Bon, on va essayer de faire dans
He
l'ordre.
seems to have turned it to an
Un
advantage.
chirurgien.
The people praise his selfless devotion
Alors.
to our law and justice and...
Is your back giving you trouble?
It makes no
My
sense
wife is a
at all.
trained masseuse. Salve legate. Are you looking for medical supplies?
Et comment sais-tu que je suis légatus?
The world may be large, but Rome is smaller than you'd think in some ways. People talk, and you are mildly famous.
Ah bon?
Tell me what you need, and I shall provide you with everything.
Tu sonnes les blessures et les fractures. Pourquoi ne fais-tu pas ça sur un champ de bataille?
Every healer I know dreams of going to war with the legions. But bones do not only break in battle. Life in Rome can sometimes be a battlefield.
Et que vends-tu exactement?
I have some linen I can spare. You could buy some if you
Oh,
want
ça
to
c'est
make
intéressant.
bandages. This bottle could also prove to be interesting for you. It's a concoction that works against the effects of many poisons.
Une concoction qui allège les symptômes d'empoisonnement. Le poison constitue-t-il un problème courant à Rome?
The machinations of the senatorial class can occasionally turn very bitter indeed. I'm sure I don't have to tell you that.
Je vais payer.
Good. You should make sure to consult a trained healer in mixing this, however. Of that,
du tissu.
I have plenty. How many do you need?
Ah, il les vend à 150. Je vais en prendre 2.
Thank you.
Ça
Let us
suffira
hope you'll
pour le
never
moment.
have need of them. I do not charge for the app. It would have been fortuitous.
Ok, bon, ça c'est bien d'avoir trouvé du tissu. Comme ça on pourra refaire des bandages qui nous serviront plus tard sur le champ de bataille.
His own brother killed him. He admitted it in front of the Senate.
On peut passer par là.
He was a senator
Il y a
too.
plein d'endroits.
What kind of man
Ça m'a l'air
was a
grand.
member of his own
Et je sais pas si c'est utile.
don't understand. We love each other. Ask her yourself.
My daughter will not be seen with anyone from your family. If I ever catch you sneaking around here again, I'm going to gut you like a fish. Now get out!
Ah, ça fait tellement Roméo et Juliette avec les deux familles. Si je te suis, tu vas où, toi? Ouais, tu t'en vas juste, ok. On va rentrer dans la taverne.
You came.
Surpris?
That much should be clear from the look on my face. But I really didn't expect you to appear here, of all places.
J'ai un don pour apparaître à l'improviste.
That you do indeed, and thank the twice-born god. Woman, bring us a fresh jug. My friend is still sober, and that's simply not acceptable. Now, what are we drinking to?
À l'honneur et au devoir.
All for the glory of Rome. That hit the spot. Another one?
Je peux en boire un autre, oui.
I'll tell you a secret. I can always drink another one. Another! Keep it pouring! And then I said, well, what can you say in that situation? Obviously, I asked, is that really a goat? Or a sorry excuse for a tent pole? It was. I still can't help but laugh. You know what people say in Africa? Wine makes the soul come out of you. You're all right, my friend. You're all right.
Merci, tu es quelqu'un de bien aussi.
I'm glad you came. Friendships that develop in war don't always stand the test of peacetime.
T'as visité de nombreux pays, n'est-ce pas?
More than I could count. I've walked on so many different kinds of soil, seen so many faces, and broken so many hearts.
Et tu as déjà pensé à Tranger?
An amusing notion. Should I also get a wife and make a few little brats of my own?
Et quelques petites copies de toi qui courent dans tous les sens, ça me paraît bien.
Not me. I'm an adventurer at heart, and an adventurer never rests. Sure, life is full of pain and misery, but it's also full of beauty and wonder. You should endure the former and live for the latter. There's so much to experience still. To people like us, settling down is like death, something you don't long for, nor expect.
Another jug, Domini.
That will be all, Soa.
Actually, I wanted to talk to you, Domina. May we perhaps retreat to a private chamber?
Eh bien, on dirait que ton beau visage continue à attirer les femmes.
I know. It's a blessing and a curse. Out with it, woman. What do you want?
I think I am with child.
On va rester silencieux pour le moment.
You are the father of my child. Future child. Don't you remember me, Aquilinos?
What?
Est-ce vrai, Kaizo?
I don't know. I've never seen this woman in my life.
You told me you would not remember me. Afterwards. And I respected that in a way, but now I need your help. Marcellus Vipsanius doesn't like his girls giving birth. He's a cruel man. I remember how kind you were to me. My child deserves better. Our child. Even if you don't want to have anything to do with me, I want our child safe and away from this shithole. Will you save me?
Nous pourrions l'acheter si tu veux.
Indeed. Perhaps we should inform the Kensos.
Quit bothering the guests, look here. These jugs will not deliver themselves.
Help me, please.
Quickly, Thawa. The night has taken an unusual turn. I apologize.
Tu te souviens vraiment pas d'elle?
I don't. But I do tend to forget some things when I'm drunk. Still, I find it hard to believe I'd forget the mother of my own child. Maybe, well, not entirely. Times like these, I wish Calida were here. That woman has a knack for spotting a lie.
Que vas-tu faire?
I don't know what to make of any of this. I'll have to think.
Dans tous les cas, n'hésite pas à me faire signe si je peux faire quoi que ce soit pour t'aider.
Thank you, my friend. That means a lot. You go. I suddenly have much to think about.
Hop, ça fait encore 20 petits XP. On n'avance pas vite hein, avec ce genre de quête, mais c'est quand même très sympa. Qu'est-ce qu'on a eu? Fabrication, anti-venin. Ça va pouvoir se révéler utile à un moment donné, je pense. C'est plutôt pas mal, hein, ces petites quêtes. On visite Rome, il se passe des choses. C'est vraiment cool. Et il nous en reste encore. Hein. Vignoble. Allez, hop, on va faire ça. Ça doit être dans le coin en plus. Ouais. Donc là, on avait vu le chirurgien.
I've missed his work greatly.
He's working on new locks for me already. I've been asked to change all the locks in my Dominus's villa.
On a vu qu'il y avait quelqu'un ici. Là, c'est la sortie. Il y a des trucs un peu bizarres quand même. Hein. Par exemple, on va essayer de passer par là. On va voir si jamais on trouve des choses ou s'il se passe des choses.
It's the young girl with the auburn hair on the second floor, on the corner.
Ah, indeed, she is a pretty one. I can see why he pines for her.
I wish she'd just take the boy in and give him what he wants so he'll stop moaning about her outside my window. It's every night now.
If I were you, I would just empty the chamber pot on his head.
I couldn't. He reminds me of my dear Noctua.
Les petites histoires de voisinage. N'empêche, c'est très sympa ce qu'ils ont fait. Hein. La construction comme ça de la ville. Ça manque peut-être un petit peu de vie, mais bon.
You've sent the birds to shit on my stall.
Are you out of your mind? You think I can command the birds?
They only shit
Ah,
on my
Sextus,
crates,
mon ami.
never on yours.
On va aller lui parler.
What difference does it make?
On ira reparler
Your
aussi
crates are
à
already full of shit.
Quintus. Ah, puis il faut qu'on vienne ici pour voir les marchands de vin. Est-ce qu'on a autre chose par ici? Possiblement. Hein. Là, il y a quelque chose. Non. Ok. Dans tous les cas, on verra ça dans le prochain épisode, celui-ci étant arrivé à son terme. Je vous remercie beaucoup de m'avoir suivi. J'espère que ça vous plaît toujours autant. Dans le prochain épisode, on continuera notre petite visite de Rome et on terminera à l'acte 1. Dans tous les cas, n'oubliez pas le clap, à savoir commenter, liker, vous abonner et partager. Surtout, n'oubliez pas de partager car vous le savez, le partage, c'est la vie.